Wagwan Generals, welcome back to the Shift Gear. We got Ciaran back with us. I don't know where the hell he's at. I'm just looking at where are you, man? What's going on here?
So you guys probably, if you've listened to the Shift Gear a lot, you know I always have plumbing issues in my apartment. So they're
hmm
finally fixing them today. My landlord finally, he got these people, but they have to I live in like a triplex, like a house. So they have to come out in front and drill and get rid of like the concrete, like the steps in front of my house, and like
Yeah.
replace the pipes. So it's just like crazy noisy at my house, and like also I can't access my house. So like if I would have stayed there today, I would have been locked in there until they were done. Uh, so whenever this happens, my landlord has like a WeWork office that he like sends me to. So that's where I
Okay.
am at WeWork today. Or it's not called WeWork, but like WeWork adjacent type place.
You're like the most like housed homeless person I've ever met in my life. Like your crib is always just undergoing some sort of issue. But I'm glad it's finally getting fixed. So that seems
Yeah.
like a absolute disaster. If you guys, well, I mean, I would hope none of you have been to Kieran's house. That'd be kind of strange and creepy. But if you've been to Kieran's house, his house is like 6 steps, like kind of underground, right? Like your house kind of is underneath everything. So
Yeah.
like the plumbing hits you hard, right? Because like you're where all the sewage goes, I guess, right? Because it just goes down and then you get murked. But if it's getting fixed, hopefully you'll have a house for the rest of the time that we do shift gear.
Exactly.
We can.
Well, because the problem was like the city would always come and my landlord have to argue with the city whose fault it was. So finally, like I'm like, bro, like just fix this. Like the landlord's paying for it. I'm like, good.
Well, at least you'll have a house. We're
Yeah.
back. Anyways, we traded in Ciaran for Rowan midweek. We had a bonus shift gear episode this week, man, and that's just
Nice.
off the back of me being too lazy to create my own YouTube channel for Pokemon and me not having enough content to put on it. So we had it on shift gear. If y'all like the midweek bonus episode, let us know. Maybe we'll do it more often. Maybe Ciaran and I can find some stuff to do more than once a week. With when you're in the middle of the season, it's pretty easy. I'm sure come August we'll be scraping the ground for any sort of content. So right now we're in a good time. This week we're gonna be talking about Journey Together. Kind of going through the new cards that we're getting. That most of you probably already opened already. Pre-releases have been going crazy. Every pre-release in Toronto is sold out. Every single one. It is
Really?
bonkers. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because with like tariffs and product shortages, like there's just no way to really get products. So most people are kind of resorting to pre-releases now to get product cheap, which is kind of
I didn't
crazy.
know that. I was actually considering going to a pre-release because March is actually the longest time in a while. I have a lot of my weekends free, so I was
hmm
like, oh, I haven't gone to a pre-release in like 10 years. Like, let's just go to one.
Good luck
But I
with
might
that.
have to compete to go. Okay.
No, like they're legit like sold out, bro. Like you can't even get in. It's
I
pretty
feel, I
crazy.
feel like I could pull some strings, you know? I find one Toronto store that'll let me come.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those where you got. Hopefully, you have enough clout that someone lets you in. But it is sold out for the public right now. So I don't know.
Damn.
We'll see.
Okay.
There's
I
some
probably won't be
places.
going then.
There's some places, bro, that have like 10 events. Like legit. Like one store has like 10 events. They have so many kits. They're all sold out, and I think most of it is just because like so. If you're from the States, you would know this, but all Pokemon products now have a 25% tariff on in Canada. So everything was made before those tariffs were implemented. So these pre-releases are still 35 Canadian for however many amount of packs, and it is going to be by far the cheapest way you can get packs. So that's why everyone's like kind of flocking to pre-releases right now. And the pre-order prices on some of these are insane. Like booster boxes in Canada are now $250 for pre-release.
Bro, my very first booster box was $90.
Yeah, me too. Like it's
Hard gold,
insane.
soul silver.
Mine was you opened a Heart Gold Soul Silver box. That's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, when I was a kid, that was my first. Well, when I was a kid, the first set that came out was black and white, but like I wanted to play the Dawn fan decks. Like I'm like, Dad, Mom, buy me the Heart Gold box. I think
Mm,
sealed now, those boxes are probably like 20 grand. But that was my first box.
yeah,
So
I think my first one was Next Destinies that I bought for myself. I had an EX Delta Species box back in the day. That was a absolute banger. I
yeah.
would have a down payment if I kept that sealed. R.I.P. me. But yeah, we can maybe hop into these scans. We're gonna go through on Poke Beach because the English scans don't exist yet apparently. We can kind of walk through what we think might be good and maybe go through them initially and on our initial thoughts that we're normally wrong on anyways.
Cool. And I think the other thing that we were going to talk about the Ace Trainer rewards too, real quickly.
Yeah, run that. Let's do that
Uh,
first.
because I know that they got announced like literally last Wednesday when we released, so I'm sure a lot of people have given their opinions. We won't spend too much time. Uh, yeah, my opinion is like this kind of like is just so underwhelming. Like I'm like, if they wanted to do this, it should have been like a surprise announcement or something they announced like at the start of the season. By the start of the year, when they're like, oh, we're gonna have like a championship point like reward program. well, like they made it sound like it was going to be like kind of how the professor store is, where like you can spend your points or there's a bunch of stuff. So for it to just be a promo card, I think is just like really lame. And it's like there's not different tiers to work towards. So I mean, it's better than nothing, but the way they hyped it up, I think this is just like a massive failure of like a program launch. But
Yeah, it feels like this was like a last second like copium move. I think like they
yeah,
announced it early in the season, and it looked like they kind of just forgot. And they're like, okay, how can we make this up to people? And like the way they did this goes to show how easy it would be to implement top 8, day 2, whatever stamp promo cards at regionals. It would be so easy just to be like, okay, here's the whatever. What was it last time? Surfer promo with a day 2 stamp or a top 32 stamp or whatever. It would be so easy. It's just a single card. And instead of doing that, they've given us this. And like, to be honest, I was a little surprised how well people were receiving it at first. People were like, oh, this is really cool. And then I think after a couple of days, it settled in like, hey, we're working our whole year for one promo card that how many people are going to get? Probably like half the player base. So it's not even going to be worth anything.
no, not half the player base, but like a lot of people are going to get it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it seems pretty easy with like how many locals are around now. Like 200 points is pretty easy. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But I mean, I think one thing like we've talked about is like locals needs like a rejuvenation almost. Like the game at regionals is so big, and I find a lot of local scenes aren't doing as well. So like, I guess something like this is what you need to motivate people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think there's a more fleshed out program. My guess is they had a more fleshed out program they wanted to do, and just for whatever reason they couldn't do it, so we like defaulted to this. But also on your point of like stamped promos for day 2 and stuff, like when I see tournaments in like Asia, like they give out like stamped promos. Like there's like stamped Chempao, for example. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know why we haven't implemented that yet in the TPCI region. So
It's so easy.
yeah,
Like
the bar is on the floor, and they still struggle.
yeah,
to meet it
like
sometimes.
so they upped pack pricing. So like the top 500 mans get 9 packs, right? At that same, so the 9 packs contain what, like 90 cards. That's half of day 2 already. Like it's so easy to produce this if you just wanted to implement this and make it better. And I guess their thought process is probably, what more incentive do people need to play? Like all of our tournaments are selling out anyways. We probably don't need to do this from a business perspective.
They don't need to,
Yeah, which makes sense. But just from like a player-based perspective, like that's something you want as a player, and it's something that we're asking for, and it would be so easy to implement. So I don't know why they're not. But anyway.
Yeah, I will say the one thing is I actually really do love the art on these cards. Like I like how it's all the Pokemon from like the decks that are good. Like this is 2023's. Like you got Refinement, you've got like my boy Frigibax, Miraidon, Klefki. Last year's has like Heal Mask, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is a cool card. I will give them that. So I'm excited to see what the art looks like this year. So who do you think was going to be on the art this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Like, does that include like everything up to Worlds, or is that like what's?
Well, I think this is last year's card. I don't think it's this year's card. So I think it includes everything up to Worlds.
Like Ogremon, I see Goldengo in the back. What else we got there? I can't really see.
Iron Hands, Roaring Moon, Cinccino.
Okay.
So, I feel like maybe I guess maybe with rotated cards they won't put them. So,
but that's what I was.
Scarlet Violet stuff.
Yeah, my first thought process was gonna be like, it's got to be like Regidrago, Lugia, like those guys. But I guess if they're rotating, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe
like Gardevoir or something.
Could be Gardevoir. I can't even remember what else.
Archaludon maybe. Yeah, Archaludon maybe.
Yeah, there's some good choices.
Yeah, the cards are cool. So.
Yeah,
but we
respectfully though, if I finish 126th, if I'm the guy who finishes 126 and they send me that thing, it's hands.
Well, Aneil, you'll get your invite if you're 126 because they pass down. But yeah, I agree. Whoever's looking for a person off, if you get that, it's not going to be a great consolation prize.
Yes, if you're like probably 135th or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Probably where it's cut off. Anyways, all right, let's get into these skins.
Yeah, so Aneil, have you tested post rotation yet? Like I have, so I am a little biased on some of the cards, but I think I can give them a more well informed opinion than I normally do on these. I know we've had some misses over the sets.
We have had some misses, but that's kind of what adds the fun to it. I'm here to give the delightful news that I have not. I'm actually going today to the card shop after we record this to test some post rotation. So these are kind of like my first ideas of what I think might be good. I've seen some results, obviously, and I've had people around me kind of tell me what's good and what's not, but I am a little bit undereducated when it comes to this.
Nice. Cool. All right, well, we can start here, Neil. We have on the grass types a Butterfree.
This card is cool in pre-release.
as a flip attack. I can see why it's going to release. It's flip 4 coins for 1 grass, 60 damage for each heads. But if you get at least 2, your opponent's active is paralyzed. And you know what? It's not that hard to flip 2 heads.
No.
This card's obviously not very good, I don't think, because like it's a flip card. The damage isn't super high. It's a stage 2 with like no health. You do think it's knocked out by Dusknoir, but yeah, it seems like a fun pre-release card. If we ever got like a damage like manipulation on your opponent's side, like if we got like a Dusknoir Sinister Hand card, I could see this card being good because you can just like infinitely trap stuff like reasonably consistently. But yeah, I don't think this is gonna be very good.
Now, if we had maybe the like the Victini that lets you reflip coins in the format, maybe it could be all right. You get like an auto paralysis deck going. I don't see this making many waves though.
Yeah, it is cool. Okay, this guy's not good. There's a Lilligant with Sunny Day. The Grass and Fire Pokemon do 20 more damage. There used to be a Lorantis that had this effect back in like 2017 that was good. Azul actually won a regional with it, I think. I mean, in today's day and age, I don't know if this is enough to add like a line that like doesn't do anything else. If there was like a Lilligant EX that was good, like maybe it could be good. Maybe if there's a grass deck that really just needs to hit like 20 more, it could be good. Like you can use Ogerpon with this. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem super strong to me.
So one thing that I was who was I talking to? I think I was talking to LDF about like Cornermon, Ogremon, the guy who like blocks all the ability dudes. And we were like thinking like, yo, there's got to be like some good grass types to counter this thing, right? Like we need every deck might need like a Cornermon counter. And there's just not very many good grass types right now.
There's not.
Yeah, there's almost nothing. I think there was like a random like Tropius that looked like it might fit the bill. But generally, like you're talking about like grass support, there's effectively nothing. And I'm wearing my St. Patrick's Day gear. It was St. Patrick's Day yesterday, and I want to support my grass mons, but yeah, these guys kind of suck. Besides Ogremon, there's nothing good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like post-rotation, Ogerpon Stone seems like one of the strongest cards in the game. A lot of decks just don't have a good answer to it. So I think it's definitely going to be seeing a lot of play. So.
And we'll touch on that wall deck when we get over to start talking about like post-rotation stuff. That thing is really, really intriguing. We're going to have an in-depth conversation about that.
Yeah. All right, Maractus. Its ability, if it's in the active, is knocked out from damage from an attack, puts 6 damage. I think it's just if it's damage. I don't think if it's knocked out. I think it's mistranslated. And it has corner. So, I mean, it's like a Badoo counter, kind of. You can just slap this guy in the active, and if your opponent Badoos, it just gets knocked out.
It's kind of cool, actually. And it has spiky energy now, too.
Yeah. I mean, corner is like a good attack, right? I think post-rotation as well. Like, a lot of decks don't play a lot of switching effects. They're very vulnerable to stuff like Sob or corner. So I could see Maractus being like a niche tech in decks. It's not like a star card, but it's definitely one of those cards where it's like I'm gonna like buy one and just keep it in my box of somewhat playable cards.
I do think that like saw blocking is gonna be really annoying, right? Like you mentioned. I think there's gonna have to be a lot more respect to saw blocking. I don't think you're gonna be able to get away with not playing switches and Turos anymore. Just because if Ogremon, like Wellspring Ogremon, is that good of a deck, like you're gonna have to respect it because you can get saw blocked at any time, and even in like Lugia. I mean, you've played so much Lugia. Like there are random games that you have no business winning that you can win just off a saw block, right? So people are gonna have to start to respect that. And Switch Cart rotates, so you have one less option to do it. And that like Switch Cart was a card that people sometimes played just to heal the 30, right? Like it was a good switching effect. Plus you heal 30, so there's more incentive to play Switch. I think now people are going to have to double back on how they build their decks and play Switch just to respect Sob and Corner and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we saw, right? The Champions League was won by Feraligatr. I think in part because people just weren't ready for that kind of strat.
Yeah.
So,
and without Snorlax, a lot of people are going to cheat it too, right?
Yep, exactly. So I think, this card is just keep a copy in your bulk pile, or on your bulk, in your like playable pile. It could see the light of day one day. Cool. There's a Moongus EX. I didn't even realize this. Probably because it's horrible.
Most likely.
Yeah, 2 for 100, and if people had 80, like 180, that's like nothing.
I'm yet to see that card at pre-release, so I don't know. Maybe it didn't make it to our set or something. Like I don't know. I haven't seen this card.
Yeah, well, sorry. We have a new Excelgor. It's like 2 energy, 70. Your opponent's now active, or is confused and poisoned. Switch with on your bench Pokemon. I think we've been like longing for like a spinning turn deck that's been good for a long time. And like there's some good wall Pokemon, right? Like there's the wall deck. Like there's a Frigoraph, we have Cornerstone, Mimikyu, Klefki. I just don't know if Excelgor is strong enough to make that work.
I
I just don't think it's
low-key
enough
think,
damage. Like,
yeah, this card's goated at pre-release, first of all. This card's pretty good. But that, like, the spinning turn deck we're longing for, we might have found it in Feraligatr a little bit. It is kind of cool.
yeah, but it's not, I don't know, I feel like it's not like 30 damage. I guess then you need a Monkey Dory. Well, no, not 30, because you use Feraligator's ability. Yeah, so maybe Feraligator's the way you have to do the spinning turn.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing it through Excelgor, but I think that type of deck does exist now.
I think so, too. There's a Durant, does nothing. There's a Rizian, does nothing. Oh, Meowscarada. If it's on the bench, switch it in with your active. Your opponent's in active is an EX, it does 180. Yeah, so I mean, anything that's weak to grass, you can knock out with Meowscarada. This will only ever be good if like a Meowscarada EX deck is good, which I don't really foresee. But that deck that's now a single prize attacker. The Sprigatito doesn't look like it's better.
And Meowscarada EX isn't terrible. It's not a bad card, and I've seen people like toying with it a little bit post rotation. So I don't know. Maybe there is a world where this pops out. Yeah. And like I do like this concept of like the idea that you can play like EXs plus their babies from the same evolution line. I feel like that's something we've been missing a lot, and I think like some of the guys brought Goldengo Baby to Vancouver, right? Yeah. The Goldengo decks. I think that concept is so cool. Like that used to happen a lot, like in the olden days, right? Where, and I know we hop on this podcast to sound like boomers week after week, but like in the olden days, this used to happen. It used to be so cool because you could evolve to like Haunter, and you don't know what Gengar is coming out after, right? And you can adjust based off what happens. So like stuff like that, Pokemon with 3 attacks, like just cool things to add to the game are always things I'm welcoming back in the TCG, and it seems like we're kind of getting there.
Yeah, I mean that's why evolving from 2 prizes was just like such horrible game design, and like now you can just split evolutions is a lot better. So yeah, a card like this that would never see play could see play if it's like 2 prize version ever.
Now we can evolve to 3 prizers. Aren't you excited?
Yeah, now you get the megas.
We gotta have that's another thing we never addressed on here. We gotta have a long talk about that at some point.
Yeah, maybe I'll invite Jake Gearhart one day because that comes out. I think he already did. So I think I saw him on like a race or something talking about it. But
I believe it.
All right, there's a Magmortar that I always think Magmortar is a stage 2, but I guess it's technically a stage 1 in the card game. Its ability is during Pokemon checkup, but 3 more damage counter to your opponent's burn Pokemon. So I don't know if burn is ever good. This would be good, and I think it stacks. Like I don't think the language says you can only use 1. So if you get 4 Magmortars and you burn someone, you're doing 140 with burn.
We're burning 140. Yeah, it's I guess. I think burn is just so underpowered in today's game, just because like the way the flip works. It's so like it should, in my opinion, it should be 3 damage and then flip. Because what makes this better than poison? It's literally the same as poison.
That's 2 right away.
Yeah, I guess, but long term it's the exact same as poison.
But you get the impact right away, right? Because it's like poison, you do 1, your opponent retreats. Like burn, you do 2 right away.
I guess.
Opponent still retreat. I mean, I agree with you. Burn is like one of the worst special conditions, but
yeah. Over a turn and like one like full turn, it's the same statistic to do the same amount of damage, right? So,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but I get your point makes sense too. It just sucks. Don't do it. Don't burn things.
Yeah. All right. Blaziken line, Aneil. Blaziken's my favorite Pokemon, so I was hoping for a really strong Blaziken. I think it's playable. So its ability is just 1 during your turn. You can attach a basic energy to one of your Pokemon from your discard. Attack is just 2 for 200, which is whatever. I think it's okay. Like I know I've seen people playing it in the Mamoswine deck. That's where it probably makes sense. But there's a lot of decks, like honestly, where it's like you just need like 2 energy to attack. So any deck that is already maybe playing Rare Candy, maybe you could fit in like a 1/1 Blaziken line, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if you've played post rotation, you know how strong Crispin is. So I feel like Blaziken is kind of like a Crispin on board. It's just a little hard to set up, but like maybe there's a Terra Box deck eventually where you play a 1/1 Blaziken line, and then like instead of having to play Crispin every turn, you can just like use Blaziken, right?
Yeah, I actually really like this card. I don't know, like I don't want to say I'm bullish on this card because I'm definitely not bullish. I just think there's a world where what you said comes true. There's so much reliance on Crispin post rotation. There's so much reliance on Sparkling Crystal. Imagine if your 1 Rare Candy just turned into this thing that's fully functional with a decent attack as well, and a lot of health. that can kind of just supplement that once per turn on the bench. I think this is cool. I don't know if it's going to see play, but I do think that this is like a C tier potential in my book. I think this has like more potential than your average bulk EX.
Yeah, it has like attack. I don't think it has a like illustration or anything, which is kind of sad.
Yeah,
I love
that's kind of
Blaziken, but
yeah.
yeah, no, I definitely think this has potential somewhere. Like maybe even like Pikachu EX, like you get a couple of these guys going, and then you just like spam Pikachu, because Pikachu EX is really strong in this format as well. So definitely a card I'm gonna keep my eye on. Don't know how good it'll end up being, but I'll definitely mess around with it for sure.
Well, yeah, you could you can use Blaziken combined with Crispin to power Pikachu every turn. You can hit 300 every single turn.
Yeah. Or like if you have Crystal, you just need one Blaziken. Or like if you have two Blazikens, like you don't even need anything else, right? You just need to attach. So yeah, there's definitely maybe something here. Because if you're playing Noctowl, right? Like it's not that hard to set up Blaziken because you can just get rare candy, right?
Not at all.
So yeah, definitely keep my eye on this. Definitely seems decent. It's weak to water, which is actually a pretty good weakness to have. Because like Ogerpon is like the only really popular water Pokemon, and then like I guess Milotic is too, but that's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll definitely keep my eye on that card.
Definitely pick up a couple copies of that just in case.
Yes. All right. Next we have we're gonna go Ends Darumaka and Ends Darmanitan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know you know about Darumaka. Like I just love Darumaka. He's like such a funny guy.
You mess with it?
Like just a chill dude. I mess with Darumaka. I don't know.
I don't really mess with Darumaka like that. It just looks. I don't like Darmanitan. I think that's part of the reason why I don't like Darumaka.
I think Darumaka's just funny.
You like these goofy mans, I've noticed.
I know. I like goofy mans.
I'm not a big goofy mans guy.
You know the goofy man's Natural Harmonia Gropius.
Facts he is. You know, speaking of goofy mans, I gotta talk about this for a sec. The Wooper at Build-A-Bear came out. And like Wooper's my guy, y'all know that on this podcast. And they released a Wooper at Build-A-Bear. And I was so hyped for this thing because it comes with like goggles and a bunch of other like you can see right there.
Yo, it's kind of fire.
Dude, $97 Canadian dollars, bro. 97.
Oh my god, bro.
My friend in the States grabbed it and it was $39 American.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Now,
bro, this is without any. Is this with like I still have to add stuff, right? At Build-A-Bear, you have to pay for extras, or no?
I think this is the whole bundle.
Bro, I remember when I was a kid, like I knew Build-A-Bear was expensive, but man, $97.
And are you gonna catch me at the mall after this episode buying it? Yeah, probably. But like, it is kind of ridiculous that this is $100 for this plushie. It's not outside my realm. I've paid $100 for plushies before, and I'm not proud of it. If you look behind me, that's Saturn right there. I paid $90 to get it imported here, just because nice. I rated it, and it wasn't my proudest decision. But I still think $100 is ridiculous for this.
Bro, okay, why is there online exclusive Build-A-Bears? Isn't the whole point that you go in and build it?
Is this thing online exclusive? Can I go build it?
No. I just typed in Pokemon. Like, there's like giant size Charizard Mimikyu bundle. It says online exclusive.
That's the world we live in, bro. Like, so, did you hear about the Hudson's Bay thing?
Yeah, they're liquidating after they're closing. It's the oldest store in Canada.
For all our American friends, Hudson's Bay is the oldest department store in North America. It was the first founded store from the 1800s. And the
first trade.
Yeah, the retail space has changed so much that even they, with all their 225 years of profit, can't break even anymore. And they don't even have enough money to pay severance to their employees. So they're shutting down. And that goes to show how much the retail space has changed. Everyone just buys things online. No one wants to go in person anymore. It's so sad.
Bro, there's some fire ones here. That is sad. But
yeah,
there's some fire. Bidoof, Lumberjack Bidoof. I like to play Coco with it's like Guy Fieri play Coco.
Holy.
$110, but it's just kind of fire.
Yeah, for our American friends, they don't care. It's like 4 cents for them. This is cheap stuff.
110 CAD to USD.
It's what, like 65?
$76. That's still a lot, I feel like.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Yeah. But all right, anyways, Aneil, back on topic. I'm glad we took that Build-A-Bear break.
Yeah, we needed to Build-A-Bear break there.
Yeah, so we'll go back to Ends Darmanitan.
Yeah.
All right, so its first attack is 30 for each basic card, energy card in your opponent's discard pile. That's actually not bad. Like against Golden Go, that definitely just rolls them.
Yep.
And then its second attack, the Darmani Cannon. I don't know if that's the name in English, but it's 90 damage and then 90 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Which, I mean, we all talk about how good Cornerstone is, or Wellspring is in this meta coming up. So this is also fantastic. Yeah, without this card, I feel like the Ends deck wouldn't have any legs to stand on, but this card alone like lets it have a pretty decent matchup into a lot of the setup decks.
Yeah.
And you can also play reversal energy with this and use it as an attacker. I don't think it's strong enough on its own. Like you definitely need late game attackers, but it's definitely really solid. So
Yeah, I've seen some different builds of this. It is hard to stream a little bit, especially because Zoroark takes dark, so it gets a little weird if you're attacking with Zoroark. But yeah, definitely like you think about how much impact Greninja's had on our last 3 years of play, and that's in a format with Manaphy. So you can imagine how good this is without Manaphy. So definitely pick up a couple of these. This is definitely gonna be a good card.
yeah, I've been a little underwhelmed by the Ends deck, but if they make more Ends Pokemon, like then this card like gets buffed. So
Yeah.
Man, this is the most pack filler Volcarona I've ever seen in my life. It's literally just 2 for 80.
It's so waste.
Reshiram EX. I'm surprised it's not Ends Reshiram EX. Just 3 for 200. Discard energy. This is. I don't know if you ever need a fire type that hits for weakness. Maybe this would one day see play, but it seems pretty weak to me.
Maybe if they would reprint Welder, we can think about it.
Yeah, even then.
Yeah.
Okay, Volcanion EX. Once during your turn, if it's in the active, you may make your opponent's active burned. It has 3 retreat, but it exists in a format with Latias. I don't think it's horrible. Like if a deck ever needs like a damage modifier, like you need 2 damage, or you need a counter to Pikachu EX. This is actually a pretty good counter to Pikachu EX in decks that play Latias. You can push this up, like burn them and then attack them.
Yeah.
Its attack is whatever. It's like 3 for 160, but I don't think this will be like a super good card, but I do think it'll see niche play. Like, because it seems like it's actually decent. Or you can play a Magmortar deck, and then we like retreat into a wall and then Magmortar.
We are grasping at thin air right now. These cards suck.
I don't know. I could see this one being okay if Pikachu ever like becomes too good.
I guess maybe
it's splashable, easy to get in the active. Latias can move it. So.
All right, we'll give it a C tier, a generous C tier.
Yeah. It's definitely like not a great card, but niche play. Articuno. This is bulk. Octillery. You can put an energy attached to your opponent's active into their hand. A pretty mediocre control card. Octopus Beatdown. I do like the name of that attack.
That's kind of sick. Octopus Beatdown. I mess with that.
90 for each heads and so you get tails. That's awful, but it's kind of funny. Ludicolo. Each Pokemon, if your Pokemon in play gets plus 40 HP, the effect doesn't stack. I don't know, man. This might make the Mamoswine deck even tankier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's that strong. Unless there's like matchups where like plus 40 health helps a lot. But I will say, like, I kind of alluded to it earlier, it's like with Noctowl engine, like it's not that hard to play these tech Pokemon. Like it is feasible you could play a 1/1 Ludicolo line in like a lot of decks.
Yeah. Stage 2s are way more splashable than they were even now, right?
So yeah, I mean this card's like not, I don't think it's like that good, but I think it can find a home in some separate decks. It's like another one of those cards like keep an eye on. I think a lot of the cards in the set are like pretty interesting. I feel like Pokemon's done a good job lately in the sets of like making the cards where it's like they're not that good, but like you could definitely like play them eventually or like make some interesting strategies with them. So,
yeah, and it's tough to kind of evaluate where all these cards are at right now because rotation's so new and we don't really know like where things are going. So a lot of these are under that file of like this could be good one day, pick it up just in case kind of thing, because we don't know. Like after Atlanta, this might look completely different to what we think it is, because we always look at Japanese results and they never match up what we create. So I don't know.
Yep. Agreed. Pelipper is nothing. Oh, the Wailord. I'm excited for Wailord, Aneil.
Oh, yes.
For Chien-Pao. Its attack is Hydro Pump. Takes 4 energies. That's fine, because we're playing Excalibur. There's 10 damage and then 50 more for each water. But you don't have to discard them like with Chien-Pao.
Right.
So you can make a fat Wailord. It has 240 health. It's a 1-prizer. Right?
Yeah.
And then you're not weak to Badoo, because the energies don't go away. You can out-prize trade people. I don't know, Wailord seems kind of hype.
I thought about playing this at pre-release, just like a 1/1 Wailord and just sitting there. It's not
definitely a little copious, but
yeah, it doesn't seem that bad because like the one prize attacker in PoW was always Greninja, right? And you lose Greninja, and that's obviously like a massive loss to the deck. Maybe you have this thing now to kind of just fill up turns. You're obviously not nearly as effective, but if we can make Wailord good, I'm all for it. I'm all for drinking that copium.
Yeah, it has a really nice illustration rare too.
It does, yeah, it does.
Actually, I don't normally play locals, but with the rotation coming, I thought I had to play some of my favorite decks before they go. I actually played a couple League Cups on the weekend. I played Chen Pao just for fun
Nice.
because while Chen Pao's not really rotating, like the engine is like the Bibarel, Irida, Greninja.
Mm-hmm.
So I was having some fun. I made top cut at one of the cups actually. So
Nice.
uh,
With Chen Pao.
yeah, it was fun.
Big throwback.
See Pao baby.
There you go.
Yeah. So I mean, like the problem with this deck is like, yeah, like the consistency engine for Chen Pao's just not there anymore. Like Irida's gone, Bibarel's gone. You probably played a Dunsparce, then I'm playing like Excalibur, the Dunsparce, and Wailord.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and make something like this work. It probably won't be very good, but it might be a fun way to play Excalibur, Chen Pao going forward. And Wailmer has 130, so it doesn't get knocked out on the bench from Wellspring, which is good.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
yeah, so we'll have fun with that. There's a Regice for this dude. 90 damage, does 10 to each of his bench Pokemon. Okay, so it's useless. Veluza, 120. If you discard your hand, it does 240. That
No.
doesn't seem very good.
No. Keep going.
Man, there's a lot of attacks in the set where it's like flip a coin until you get tails. Like Alolan Golem, it's like 70 for each head until you get tails.
It reminds me
That's
a little bit of like there's been historic jank formats after rotation where everything just kind of sucks. The one that pumps out to me the most. Do you remember? I think it was 2012. We had that random rotation where there's only 4 supporters in the format. It was like Juniper and Bianca Ciaran, and there was nothing else.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And like all the decks were just garbage. Like this is kind of what it's reminding me of now. We have like Wallstall doing well now in this rotation. I guess we retain Dragapult, which has a high like upside, but it feels like a lot of like the high damage, like high like velocity decks are kind of gone. Like we're looking at like Ogremon box now with Wallstall and Dragapult being the best decks in the format, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, like Crispin is like the best supporter now.
Yeah, feels like we're losing
when
a
it's
lot.
like a niche. Well, yeah, like a niche card right now. So yeah, it definitely does feel like we're losing a lot. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I
All
like
right,
jank
now we're
formats.
on Iono's cards. Okay, Iono's Voltorb is 20 damage for each lightning attached, 20 plus 20 for each lightning attached to all your Iono's Pokemon. There's like an Iono's Belly Bolt that like it has Excalibur's ability for lightning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a solid one prize attacker, that's for sure. But I mean, like scaling off 20 for each energy is like kind of hard. I feel like it's like to even hit 220, you need 10 lightning in play.
Yeah, it's not happening.
That's a lot. I feel like the cost is too much for this card. I feel like they should have just given it like Chen Pao's attack, but maybe like 40 for each. So I'm not that high on this. Yeah. The Electrode is kind of funny. It does 100 to itself. It only has 100 health. And you have to flip a coin if head your opponent's active is knocked out. So it's not even guaranteed knock out your
that
active.
can't be good.
Or your opponent's active. So pretty funny though.
If there was like a bravery charm for like evolved dudes, this could be okay. And like a coin reflipper card where you can have like
There's
a
a luxurious tape.
oh yeah, that is a little detrimental though if it doesn't go well. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not something that I
Yeah.
would play personally. I'm just trying to think of lines that like maybe make
No,
us
I
relevant.
agree. We have Ends Joltik for 2 colorless 30. If they have a tool, discard it. They're now paralyzed. I mean, again, it's like one of those niche Pokemon that if
Why
there
don't
ever
we
is
have-
a deck.
Why is there no Ends Galvantula?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest.
This is just
In the
insane.
video game, does he just randomly have a Joltik and like never gets Galvantula? I don't know.
Don't you play him at like the end of the game? Like you fight him at the end of the game?
Well, but you see him like at all points of the game. Like he takes that weird Ferris wheel ride with you.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually. And there's also like I guess in the past like they had like Gardenia's Turtwig, which was like a decent card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
That's a
they've done
fun
this
deck in
before.
2010.
Okay, they've done this before. This is fine.
Yeah. Alright, Togedemaru. Flip a coin if heads during your opponent's next turn, if all damage. Man, lots of flip effects in this set. Tapu Koko EX. I actually think this card's decent.
This card's good, yeah.
Free Retreat, which is always good. It's like Lightning colorless 60 plus 20 more for each of your bench Pokemon. It's a really good My Loaded counter for any deck that needs a My Loaded counter.
Yep.
Also goes to Cornerstone. So yeah, maybe if like Terra Box has trouble with those, like you can just slap Tapu Koko in the deck and have a nice little response. It doesn't go through Trade but this is like a mediocre card that's like a nice counter to a lot of things. So.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely get one of these.
Yeah. All right, here's Iono's Belly Bolt EX, I mentioned earlier. As often as you like, you can attach a basic lightning from your hand to one of your Iono's Pokemon. It's a stage 1 with 280, which is good. So you don't need Rare Candy or anything. I don't know. It just depends how good Iono's Pokemon are. Like Voltorb's the best attacker, and we kind of said like it doesn't seem that good. You could maybe like play a tank style deck with Belly Bolt and like play like Professor Turo or something. Like Belly Bolt does 230 for 4, which is a lot. Like maybe like tank a hit, Turo, Superior, do it again. That's how I would maybe envision playing this.
I'm
But
not.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like they gave her enough good cards.
Yeah, I think the presence of Miraidon and Generator kind of nullified that. Like, I'm not above thinking that there could be some sort of like combination that makes sense that makes this work. There is a lot of lightning support in the format. Like Miraidon's just
Yep.
like free battle VIP pass for whatever you want, and so you can set up pretty quickly. If you play a Miraidon, you also have Generator to back you up, and now you have Levencia, which is a stadium we'll get to in a sec. Like, there's enough here that I think that even though these cards seem a little underwhelming, that there might be a future for them. So I mean, like, I think we keep our eyes open to maybe a good combo with this. But yeah, you're right. It is a little underwhelming to begin with.
Yeah. We have Iono's Kilowattrel. You have to discard a basic lightning from this Pokemon or to use ability. Once during a turn, you can draw until you have 6.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a really good ability, and you can like preemptively start powering it up.
Yeah.
So obviously in the Iono's deck, this card's really good. I wonder if there's ever a deck that can play this that's not Iono. Probably not, because attaching energy is like so valuable in the game if you don't have an accelerator. But I mean, we lost Bibarel, and like I see that Dunsparce is seeing a lot of play post rotation as like the draw engines, which is like it's like an okay card, but like drawing till you have 6 is much better. But yeah, it might just be too hard to have this work in decks that aren't Iono.
Yeah. This rotation is really exciting though, because we lose so much that like cards like this get the light of day. So I am excited for that.
Yeah, I wish we could take Bibarel with us. Bibarel would be really good in this format.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. All right, we have Lily's Clefairy EX. I think this card is very hyped. I think it's very good. Ability, the Fairy Zone, makes the weakness of all Dragon Pokemon Psychic. And its attack is just the same attack that like Raikou, Entei, and Suicune have. Just Full Moon Rondo, 20 plus 20 more for each bench Pokemon in play. Yeah, this card's fantastic. Like, it's just a really easy splashable tech to knock out Dragon Bolt and to knock out Raging Bolt. Yeah, like you can even play it. There's like a card we'll get to later that like the Lily's Pearl that you can play with this that makes it really good. I don't know if this will ever be its own deck, but like I think for sure it's going to see a lot of play. And like I think just looking at results already, it's already like making a splash. So.
Yeah, I'm sad about this card. I was really big on Dragapult after rotation until I kind of saw this. This looks like it's splashable. It looks like it's good. The attack cost is a little weird. Is one thing I will say. And like even into Dragapult, if you one-shot it, they are one-shotting you back. And I understand if there's a Pearl on it, the prize trade is favorable for you, et cetera, et cetera. But it is a lot harder for you to kind of stream these things if you have to, if this is your only answer to Pult, right? So whilst I do think it is really good and it is really splashable, I don't think it's going to be like a streamable option to keep taking prizes. It's kind of just like a one of, all right, I'm going to take a cheap
I don't think it's
two.
that hard, Aneil. You just Noctowl for Stretcher Crispin, and then bam, it's attacking again.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, like, I don't know. These things always seem easy, and then you get in game and you're like, hey, this isn't as easy as I thought. I don't know. Maybe it'll work. But to me, it seems like unless you're streaming the Pearl with it, it's not really doing that much. Because with Dragapult, you're hitting 200 and you're hitting 60 on the bench. So the prize trade kind of goes out of your favor eventually.
I mean, the other thing too is like it's not even just like a counter to like the Dragon decks. Like with Area Zero being such a played card post rotation, like like I've been in my testing, I've literally just been using this against like random decks to take knockouts because a lot of the good Pokemon in this format are like the basic X's that only have like 200 something health. So Lily's Clefairy is really easy to take a knockout with. Like if you just fill your own bench, it's already at 180, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like if your opponent has like 3 bench Pokemon,
yeah,
you're already knocking out most of like the EXs. So yeah, it's a really good card. It could even maybe be its own deck with the Pearl, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Marowak, a little Marowak, 30. If anything was knocked out, do 120. It's the stage 1, so probably not good enough. Mr. Mime, shuffle your hand back, draw 1 for each card in your opponent's hand. That's probably not very good. What else do we have? We have Metagross.
It's kind of whatever.
Beldum and Matang are on the bench. This attack does 280. I mean, there's the good Metagross, like the Matang, the like the Metal Linked one.
Yeah.
But this takes Psychic, so I don't think this will be good.
It is so crazy to me that Crispin has just unlocked like all these attackers in the format. Where you look at this card and you're like, okay, this is actually decent because we have Crispin. I can't remember any time in Pokemon history where we had a card like Crispin, kind of just enabling these like colored energy, colorless energy attacks. Other than like outside of like Double Rainbow.
Yeah, well, and this would take Psychic, so you'd have to have 2 Psychics, but
Yeah. Sorry. So
I agree.
you get the free attach.
Crispin is, Crispin is definitely like crazy this format.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Sigilyph, victory symbol for 3 energy. If you use this attack when you only have only 1 prize card remaining, you win the game. I mean, I feel like normally you can just like take, if you're 1 prize, you can just take your last one. But I guess like honestly, like if you get Iono'd or like your opponent makes a board of all like big guys, like maybe all Arcalodons, for example, like this could be okay. Like I'll buy one just in case the ends deck is good, but I don't even know if you would play this in ends deck.
I don't think you would, because you already played Darmanitan to snipe 90 on the bench, so that's a cheap win con.
Right? Yeah.
Like, you have Ends Reshiram, that's a cheap win con. I mean, like, maybe you play one just to be safe, but I don't see this being really that splashable.
I think that's how you do it as well. There's an Oricorio with Call for Family. I mean, we've seen a lot of Call for Family Pokemon. This one has 80 health, so I just don't think that's good enough.
Yeah.
To use, probably.
Call for Family kind of died as soon as you couldn't attack on your first turn.
Yeah, I think they need to, like, if they want to, like, have Call Family be good again, like, they have to specifically say you can use it on your first turn going first.
And have it be, like, colorless for retreat like Badoo.
Yeah. Okay, we have Lily's Rabombi. One string your turn when you play this card from your hand over one of your Pokemon. You can look at your opponent's hand, choose any number of basics you find there, put them on your bench. So it's like a Pokemon version of Erica's Invitation, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Control decks could play this eventually. It's a lot of commitment, though, to play a 1/1, like a Stage 1 Pokemon to do that effect, though.
Yeah.
So I don't think this will see a lot of play. Its attack doesn't do anything, so...
I'd like to see this see some play. I don't know, like, maybe you play this in, like, a Ends deck as a 1/1 just to get cheap basics on the bench to use with Darmanitan.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know. There's got to be some way to make this good. I don't think it is good, but there's got to be some way to use it at least.
And, fun fact, I've made top 32 at a regionals with Rabombi in my deck before.
Oh, I do remember this, actually. Shout out Ribombee, bro. That's such, like, a random Pokemon.
It is such a random Pokemon.
Yeah,
it was so hyped that I got to play Cutie Fly in my deck.
Cutie Fly.
There's Lily's Comfy, which search your deck for any number of basic Lily's Pokemon, which is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You just get the whole squad there. So this card I could see seeing play in Lily's deck. If she gets her own deck. But, like, to be honest, like, most of the best Lily's Pokemon is the Clefairy, which you don't want to bench preemptively normally, because then you have a 2-prizer for your opponent to knock out. So, I don't know how good this will actually be. I think if Lily's gets more cards, maybe. But
I am curious to see what they do with these, like, trainer Pokemon. Are they going to keep printing support for the same ones? Are they going to make new ones? Like, in my head, and from what we've seen recently, they're just going to make new ones and probably never support these.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, but if they do support these a little bit, it could be kind of cool.
Yeah. Hopefully they do. I think maybe what they'll do is, like, they release a set, and, like, if a deck is, like, underperforming, maybe they can buff it and, like, give it another guy later down the road.
Yeah, like, I am completely of the mind that Fusion Strike Pokemon weren't intended to only come out in Fusion Strike. And I completely believe that initially they were releasing that set with a set amount of Fusion Strike Pokemon, and they saw how good Mew was, and they said, we cannot support this any further. And because of that, a Fusion Strike Pokemon never came out after that, because Single Strike and Rapid Strike, they all had subsequent sets support them. So, I don't know. In my opinion, I think what you're saying is absolutely correct. I think they gauge sometimes, like, how good these things are, and then support them or choose not to support them after.
Yeah, I do know that they plan sets, like, far in advance, but so maybe, like, they don't. But yeah, like, maybe, like, it's not that hard to just throw in, like, one, like, Ends or Lily's Pokemon into a future set.
Like, if you think about Fusion, like, there's no way they only intended it to be Genesect, Mew, Oricorio, Meloetta, and a Deoxys. And a Toxtricity.
Is there an Ice Cube?
And an Ice Cube, sorry. So I guess there's, like, 6 or 7, but that's not enough for an entire mechanic.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent amount of cards, though.
I don't know. I find it hard to believe that was the intention, but who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Well, there's a Mimikyu EX. It is, like, horrible. You put 33 damage counters to your opponent's Pokemon. Or you can do 120. The Delmise, that takes 3 energies to retreat lock. That's horrible. There's Grimmsnarl. Let's see what Grimmsnarl does. Does 50 damage for each retreat in your opponent's retreat cost. Doesn't seem very good for Stage 2.
Nope.
The art's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What else here? We got Alcremie EX. Once during your turn, you can heal 30 from one of your opponent's from one of your Pokemon. I feel like Monkey Doors is better.
I feel like I've seen so much like Alcremie in the last 3 years. Like they love this Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah. We might have reviewed this card when it got revealed a long time ago, but
We
yeah.
might have, yeah.
I don't think it's that good. It's just too slow. Healing 30 is just not that important, I think.
Agreed.
Or it is in terms of like Dragapult, but like you have to set up a stage 1 in your deck that does no other utility.
Just play Potion, man.
Yeah, all right, we're going to get to Mamoswine Neil. I'm actually really excited to try this deck. I don't think it'll be that good, but I'm really like it's my style of deck, like stage 2s.
Mm-hmm.
So the Swine Up has Call for Family, search deck for 2 basics. So that's really good if you start with it for a second. And then Mamoswine EX, it's 340 HP. Its ability is the Mammoth Carry. Once during your turn, you can search your deck for any Pokemon, reveal it, and put it in your hand. And its attack is 2 fighting, 180, and 40 more for each stage 2 Pokemon on your bench. So once you get one Mamoswine, you can kind of like chain it. It's like another Mamoswine. Then you can start getting all the stage 2s going, right? So like this is the type of deck where you could play Ludicolo or Blaziken or something like that.
I like this. Yeah.
So it's a little clunky because you're gonna be playing all these different lines of Pokemon, but it's like alleviated a little bit since it's like easy to search them out with Mamoswine. And it's like attack like scales really fast. Like you can one shot pretty much anything. Like if you get 4 stage 2s on the bench, like that's enough to knock out I think any of the relevant Pokemon in the game. Yeah, nothing has more than 340 I think right now.
No, I don't think so. And there's a lot of like cool deck building you can do with this too. There's so much like I don't know, like maybe this is exciting because like the possibilities are kind of endless. You think of like all like the useful stage 1 Pokemon too that might help you get to the stage 2. Obviously you can only play 4 Rare Candy. You're gonna need some stage 1s in there, and I think once you start chaining these guys, you start getting them going. Maybe you play TM Evo. You can play a bunch of things to really like amp this up. This seems really cool.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm really excited to try this one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, probably not gonna be the best because it might be too clunky, but it should be fun.
We're like unserious for the rest of the year anyways, I guess, right?
Yeah.
We might as well just do this.
When the new Shaman with Bench Barrier comes out, maybe the deck gets better. Because you can use one bench spot, I think, for something that's not a stage 2. So, okay, there's Regirock. If this Pokemon has an energy, it takes 30 less damage. Does 120. Okay.
Nothing there.
Just like vanilla guy. There's a Lycanroc that when you play it from your hand to evolve, you can attach 2 spike energies to it. Spike energy, I think, we'll see it later. Is if it takes damage, you do 2 back to your opponent.
Yeah, just Rocky Helmet.
Yeah. Its attack does 40 plus 40 more for each damage kind of your opponent's active. I don't really know how I get the idea you're supposed to like damage them with spike energy and then like finish off with this, but like the initial attack, like they're not gonna have any damage on them.
Yeah. It's kind of bad.
So I don't think this is very good. Yeah. It only has 120 health too. There's Hop's Pokemon now. We have Hop Sandaconda. Another Pokemon that has Retreat Lock, but it's 2 energy. I mean, like, it's okay. Well, as we'll see, there's like a lot of damage modifiers for Hop. I don't think Hop Sandaconda is the good card, though. Its other attack is 3 for 140.
Yeah.
You can damage yourself. This Toedscruel seems okay. As long as it's on the bench, your active Pokemon retreat cost is 2 less. We've seen this effect a lot of times. And the other thing is there's also like the Toedscruel that blocks cards going back into your opponent's hand from like the items and stuff. So like maybe this Toedscruel could see play because you can play like a split Toedscruel line for some utility.
Yeah,
so I don't think this card is going to see a lot of play, especially with Latias. But
that's what I was going to say. Like Latias and like it doesn't solve your problems because your problems when it comes to retreating is mostly like saw block and corner now. I think it's less about oh my retreat's too big, I can't move. Right. So this doesn't really solve your problems. So I think it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, agreed. Cloth 2 colorless, flip 2 coins for each heads, discard energy from your opponent's active.
Skip.
I mean, it could be good in control.
You think so? I don't know. I don't see this ever.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that good, but it could be good. Could be good.
Yes.
Another one.
Yes. Finally.
All right. Dark colorless, 60 damage. Your opponent's active is now poisoned. They can't retreat. Man, lots of retreat blocking. And colorless dark. You get impact 220. You can't attack next turn. What do you think of your boy Clodsire?
Unfortunately, my boy is not very good. Again, second Clodsire EX we've had, that's not very good. But I love the fact that we're getting cards for Wooper and Clodsire. So I'll always support this. But I don't think this is going to see much play.
Agreed. Tyranitar, while this is in the active spot, your opponent can't play any item cards from their hand.
This is really cool.
Attack is dark colorless, 150. Yeah, so we were talking a little earlier about spinning turn type decks, like attacks, like send you to the bench. I mean, if you can put up a Pokemon with item lock, that's pretty good. I mean, item lock historically has been like super, super strong in the Pokemon card game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we see Badoo, right? So like maybe you play a deck where like you Badoo while you set up the Tyranitar, and then once Badoo goes down, you transition to Tyranitar.
They never play items like ever.
They
That's
they
insane.
get one turn of items the whole game, right? So it's like maybe that's a deck. Yeah, on its own, Tyranitar is not good enough because I don't think it does enough, like the damage or whatever. But like, maybe there's a strategy somewhere where you can play like a control deck with this and like Crushing Hammer or stuff like that.
I don't think this card is bad. I think with like you've Janine, you've Crispin, you've like multiple things of support, all like the merged trio, like Pekarunt and the other guys. Like this is not that bad. I would like to see someone do something with this, and maybe that person will be me. Maybe I'll try this out. But it does seem very oppressive, and it's one of those decks that like just like Iron Thorns. When it's ironic that it's the same Pokemon, I guess, but just like when that came out, like you look at this and you're like, yeah, this might be okay, but then in actuality, playing the whole game without items, that's a tough game to play, man. That is a very tough game to play. So this could be a lot better than we think.
Yeah. You remember when like Puka used to do Bad Deck Monday? I've kind of been thinking about when this deck comes out. I kind of want to start doing Bad Deck Monday on my YouTube channel, so maybe I'll make a Tyranitar deck and try it.
You're literally just gonna be LDF, bro.
I know. I'll be like, I'll have my little LDF segments.
Yeah, you're copying his whole flow.
Bro, I can't beat LDF, bro.
No.
That guy like every day has like the most crazy decks, bro.
He is truly the master of jank.
Bro, like I really expect like maybe like a month from now to see a thumbnail where it's like Paldean Clodsire like locks your opponent from playing the game, and, like this LDF face with like Clodsire.
Dude, I don't know how he has the stamina to do this stuff, but I respect it.
Bro, I actually love going to LDF's. I go maybe like once a month just 'cause I'm curious. I go to LDF's YouTube channel. I just love reading the titles and seeing the thumbnails of what he's playing. I'm like, bro, like how like I don't even know these cards exist. Like it's actually like he's a master of his craft. Like I love it.
It is very impressive.
Yeah. Ends Purloin. Your opponent reveals their hand, put a card you find in the bottom of their deck for dark colorless. Okay. Control card. Probably not going to play it in the Ends deck, but you can maybe play it later. Also, yeah, like why is there no Ends live card?
I don't know. They're just I don't know.
This makes no sense.
I got nothing.
All right, and Zoroark as trade. So obviously a callback to Zoroark GX. Its attack is Dark. Copy one of your bench Ends Pokemon's attack and use it as its attack. So we saw Darmanitan, and there's a Reshiram in this set. I don't think we've seen yet. That does like 170 and has Outrage. I don't think the Ends package is strong enough. I just don't think the attackers it has is good enough. It's like lacking like a big damage attacker. That's what it's lacking, right?
Yeah.
And you have Trade, which is a good engine. But also like there's not that many cards you want to like discard. I feel like maybe Darks because there's the Ends PP up card that like lets you power it up, but. I don't know. I'm not crazy on the Ends deck right now. I really feel like End needs like one more Pokemon to help attack.
It did leave a little bit to be desired. I will say saying trade is euphoric. Just saying that and discarding a card feels good. But I agree with you. I think it's lacking a little bit. It is one attacker away from being really good, though, is what I will say. It has all the support pieces it needs. It has free retreat from the Ends Castle. Our favorite card Ends PP up as like a dark patch / fire patch whenever you want it. Like it's got the pieces. It needs one more card. Like this is one of those cards you pick up now. You pick up 4 copies of this because you know one day this could be insane.
Yeah, exactly. But I think for now I'm a little underwhelmed by it.
Me as well.
Goro does nothing good. Bombirdier. Discard all energy, does 120 for 3 energy. That's not very good. This is also a tragedy, Neil. We have Ends Kling Klang, and it just sucks. It's just 120, flip 3 coins. Does 120 for each heads.
So sad.
Like, why could they not make Kling Klang do anything, bro?
I feel like I was never a big Kling Klang guy, but I feel like just from affiliation from this podcast, I'd have to play to originals. It feels good. Yeah.
Bro, if Kling Klang was even like a tier 3 deck, I actually might consider playing it to a regional just for fun.
I feel like we have to.
Like, come on. Yeah, maybe this can be in the Bad Deck Monday, or maybe I'll play this to a league challenge or something. See if I can win.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but no, it's sad. Our Kling Klang, we're gonna have to wait, Neil, and probably another 10 years until who knows if he'll ever get a playable card again.
Damn it! I don't know if I have 10 more years of episodes in me, but we'll try.
Bro, what if they why can't they just reprint Shift Gear? Just like literally give it that effect, right?
We're not big enough yet. We gotta get bigger.
Well, I mean, they refit effects all the time. Like Zoroark just got trade again. They
Mm.
should bring back shift gear.
I think once we get on like like that content creator list where they like send you free stuff, maybe if they do
Yeah, that
that.
is like we can sit down with them and be like, hey,
Yeah,
bring back
exactly.
shift gear.
If they print an uncommon energy, then I know that they're listening to us.
Yeah.
Until then, I don't believe it.
Right, there's Majerna. As long as it's in the active, whenever you attach an energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon, heal 90. I mean, like, you'd have to get this in the active, and you have to have energy to attach and retreat. I don't think this is very good. I think it's too hard to make work.
Yep.
There's Hops Corviknight, 50, and then 51 your opponent's bench Pokemon for 1 energy. You can power it up for more damage. And then it has Heal Ring, so 150 during your opponent's next turn. It takes 60 less damage from attacks. So that's 170, so that gives it like 230 effective, which I just don't think is enough health on a stage 2. So I'm going to say it's not that good. Hopsation. So its first attack is colorless. It does 30-30. That's not bad. Its second attack is 4 energy, 3 metal, 240 during your next turn. It can't attack. Or use Brave Slash. So we'll get to the Hops cards. There's a lot of damage modifiers for Hops, but it just seems to me like this card's a little too hard to power up the second attack. You're going to have to use like Arcaludon, like 2 Arcaludons actually to power it up.
Yeah.
And it only has 230, so I'm a little scared about its tankiness and like being able to consistently power these up. So that's my problem with Hopsation. But
I don't know. I kind of like this card. Because you give Arcaludon like that turn 1 Buzzwole GX kind of, we're going crazy, gonna put on some pressure. While you build up your Arcaludons, and then with a Crispin, or if you attach the first turn, it just takes 1 Arcaludon plus another attach to do effectively 300 if you have both the mods.
Yeah.
I don't think this is bad. I actually think this sees play in Arcaludon.
Yeah, I just think like, how am I streaming this though, right? Like my first one goes down, and then all my Arcaludons were committed to like making this. So like I don't know if I have enough Arcaludons to like keep powering them up.
Yeah, that is the one concern. I think, and the fact that Arcaludon is metal makes it so that you can't utilize Crispin too well anyways.
Yeah.
I do understand that point for sure.
So yeah, maybe it's like a splashful one, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Salamence EX does 50 to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon for 3 energies. That's too much, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 energy, do 300, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. I just think that's too much of a cost without easy acceleration.
Agreed.
On a stage 2. So I don't think it's very good. Dredigan, attach a basic fire from your discard pile to one of your End's Pokemon, but it's not an End Pokemon. Interesting.
I think it's
not
Dragon.
End, like Dragon.
Yeah,
Never mind, I was gonna say. I mean, like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like attacks like that are just too slow in today's game.
Yep.
There's End's Reshiram, does 20 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So I mean, this could help End. Like if End gets hit for like 200, you're doing like Zoroark, you do 400. So this card's obviously good, and then second attack is 170. So
who's
this
hitting
is like
this
End...
for 200 though? Like just saying like, yo.
Like maybe there's like Dragapult, for example. Like how do you get through a Zoroark, right? Like you have to like maybe Duskmorn it, or like slowly get through it. Like you might have to hit it eventually. So maybe like this could be good. There's Hops Snorlax. The attack of your Hops Pokemon do 30 more to your opponent's active. It doesn't stack. I mean, plus 30 is a really good modifier on a basic. You can search that with Artisan, Nestball, Ultra Ball. So yeah, I think Hops Snorlax is pretty good, like in that engine specifically. The Dunsparce EX, I really like this card.
Me too.
So its first attack is Colorless, Adversity Tail, 60 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon EX. Its second attack is 3 Colorless, 150. It's not affected by any effects. So I mean, like a lot of decks play a bunch of EXs, Terrabox, Raging Bolt, even the wall deck a little bit, Arcaludon, right? So it seems that it has an ability, so it's a nice little counter to Cornerstone as well. And then the second attack like just gives you Shred, right? So if your deck struggles with Cornerstone, with Mimikyu, with Milotic, whatever, this gives you a way to attack it. So
yep, I messed with this.
I think this card would never see play by itself, but because the Dunsparce, like the normal one, is such a good draw engine, like I think this card's gonna be splashed in a lot of decks, and I've been putting in a lot of my decks.
Is back. I missed Mega Lopuff.
Yeah,
that was a cool card, and like the 3 retreat does concern me a little bit on this card, but I mean, other than that, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's fair. There's Bulk Chinchino, a Bulk Noivern.
There's a lot of bulk.
Bulk, like Colorless normally has bulk, I guess. Hops, Rookidee. Oh, these are just the guys that evolved Corviknight. Hops Double. This card's actually good, and it might see play outside of the Hops deck. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve, you can switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active. So it's just boss on evolving. And this effect has been really strong, like on a lot of cards in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, I think like a lot of decks. I've seen Arcaludon play this card. I've seen Hop's deck obviously would play this card. Yeah, so I think it's solid, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. The Hop's Cramorant, it's like basically like Baby Buzzle from back in the day. 120 for one. If your opponent doesn't have exactly 3 or 4 prize cards remaining, this attack does nothing. You play Snorlax. You play like this Hop spam that lets you do 180. With damage modifiers, this is a really good single prize attacker that can like maybe reach knockout 2 prizes and like do a good trade. So
yep.
This card could make the Hop's deck good. I think literally this card.
Yeah. It is cool.
Also, I heard it's getting banned in pre-releases as well.
It is very OP in pre-release. So thankfully, it is getting banned in some places because it just makes everything very unfun.
Because if you have this card, like you start the game with your opponent at 4, so it's gonna sweep them. I feel like before they can do anything.
Yep.
So it's funny. There's Oinkoloin, Walk. All right, there's Billy and Onair supporter. Draw 2 cards. If you have 10 or more cards in your hand, draw 2 more. Like, what a ridiculous concept.
We doing here?
If I have 10 cards, if I have 10 more cards in my hand, I probably don't need to draw 4.
Yeah.
So this is probably never seeing play. Black belts. This is already exists.
That would have been
Rock
all right
Scouting.
in a format with Rotom V, but yeah, now it's like whatever.
Yeah. Brock Scouting. Choose one. Search your deck for up to 2 basics and put them in your hand, or search for an evolution. It's not horrible. It's kind of flexible. Like, if you play like a Terra deck, maybe you can like get like 2 Hoots or like the EXs you need, or you can get Noctowl. It's like a very mid supporter that might see play, I think.
Just because the format's so bad and so slow. I wish it was 2 in combination of those 2. That would make this a lot better.
But then Jacques would just be irrelevant, I guess.
Yes.
But who cares? That's fine.
Yeah.
Hops bag. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Hops Pokemon. Put them on your bench. I mean, that's obviously very good in the Hops deck. No utility otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
There's Hops Choice Band. When the Hops Pokemon card is attached to use an attack, it costs 1 colorless less and does 30 damage to your opponent's active. So obviously this is supposed to help cards like the Zacian, like attack for only 3. So I guess that's how you can combo them like a bunch of turns in a row. I think it's still hard to do because like it's hard to draw a tool plus get like Arcaludon plus get the attach.
Because you play with Arvin.
Yeah, you can play with Arvin, but then I'm playing Arvin instead of playing Boss. But I guess I have double. But then how am I drawing like all of this every single turn? I mean, this card is obviously very good, right?
Yeah.
Like that's an insane effect, costing 1 less and doing 30 more. It's just I don't know if the Pokemon are good enough to take advantage of this.
It certainly helps the deck come out of mediocrity, I think. Like it opens the door for this to actually be okay.
So, yeah. Iris is Fighting Spirit. Discard a card from your hand if you do draw until you have 6. Feels like a mediocre draw supporter.
Yeah.
Lavincia, once during each player's turn, they may put up to 2 basic lightnings from their discard into their hand. This is obviously for like the Iono's deck, but I also saw the Golden Golden Champions League was playing this as another way to take advantage of it.
That's interesting.
So I think it's like a solid card. It's not like broken or anything, but it's definitely
you don't need Pokestop anymore, so yeah, you can play that, I guess. Yeah, that seems pretty
you
good.
can play this, get 2 more. I don't know how much you need that, but yeah, it's decent. Lily's Pearl. If the Lily's Pokemon's card is attached is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, they take 1 fewer prize. That's like an insane effect. Like if you wanted to make a Lily's Clefairy deck, like this would be the card that carries it.
Yep.
We don't have Lost Vacuum. The only stadium or tool denial is Jamming Tower, which a lot of decks aren't even playing, right? I think like Raging Bolt plays it, maybe Arcaludon. So I think unchecked, like it's not that hard to keep cycling Lily's Clefairies. So this could actually make a Lily's Clefairy deck like decent.
I do think
you have a
tools
1
get a lot
prizer
better.
that's hitting for a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think this card's really good. You could even like if you play a 1 Clefairy in your Terra Box deck, you could splash this in there as like a little tech.
Absolutely.
We talked about Ends Castle a little bit. Each Ends Pokemon in play have no retreat cost.
Really good.
I mean, yeah, it's really good for the Ends deck. No retreat is awesome. Ends PP up. Attach a basic energy from your discard to one of your benched Ends Pokemon. Like patch for Ends Pokemon.
Ends PP up.
Yeah, it's really good. Like Double Dark is like a hard attack cost to make work, but this card is like definitely going to enable it. We have Postwick. The attacks of Hops Pokemon do 30 more damage. So between this, the Choice Band, and the Snorlax, your attacks all do plus 90.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, like the Zacian can do 120 and 30 to the bench, or like you can do 320. I think its attack was 230 or 240 base, or you can do 330. So you can like knock out pretty much anything with all the damage modifiers. So yeah, Hops deck is designed to hit hard. I'm just a little worried about the consistency of it, but its supporting engine is really good. So.
Yeah, sorry, there's a train going by my house. I had to mute my mic there for a sec.
Nice. We have Reciprocating Ticket. This is like nerfed Heavy Ball. After counting your prize cards, shuffle them, put them on the bottom of the deck, and then you can change them with cards on the top of your deck.
Yep.
This might be play because there's a lot of decks that really can't afford to prize a combo piece. Um, but it's like meh. It's like worse than heavy ball. I feel like.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Maybe
random
like if
cards.
you want to play the 151 Chansey where you flip the coin, like you can maybe like stack it to the top with some effect like Cypher or something, and play this and put them in the prizes. That could be funny. And I think you can. I don't think it's a shuffle from the top. So if you know where they are, you can place them and know where to pick them
Yep.
from.
Yep.
So that could be cool. I like that. Ruffian, choose one of your opponent's Pokemon, discard a tool and a special energy. So tool removal on a supporter, I think that's too much of a cost. I think you'd rather just find a way to play Jamming Tower in your deck. But maybe this could be a one of like in like any deck plays Noctowl, you can search this out and use
it's like
it.
okay, it's like Yakumo, kind of like I don't know.
Yeah. We have Super Potion coming back, heal 60 if you do discard an energy.
It's not bad.
That's fine. Yeah, like a lot of tank decks could use this maybe, but like I don't know. I don't know if 60 is enough for like to meaningfully like change anything anymore.
I don't know. It's enough to like make a difference. I don't think this is going to see a lot of play, but I think it's possible that it could.
Yeah, it's one of those cards where just like keep some just in case. And the last card we have the Spike Energy. If the Pokemon this card's attached to is damaged by attack, put 2 damage on the attacking Pokemon and it stacks. We had that like Rock Ruff or whatever, or Lycanroc, but I don't know if any other deck can really use this effectively. I don't know. It's like it's a soft counter to Pikachu EX or to Bidoof. But yeah, I don't know.
It's a big
like,
we'll see on that one, I think. Yeah,
it's like a Rocky Helmet. So
whatever.
Yeah, us journeying together. Lots of interesting cards, I think. Nothing too broken, I think, like we're used to. I'd say like Lily's Clefairy might be the best card in the set, and literally just because it counters other stuff. But
yeah, it's nothing really too crazy. I mean, like it was good to go over the set and kind of get everything in order and see what we need to pick up. It seems like we got a lot of like maybe later kind of cards, so we'll keep an eye out, pick up your cards, see what happens. Let us know what you think is going to be broken. Is there any cards we missed that you think might be really, really good? Let us know down below, and let us know how your post-rotation testing is going too. Like a lot of cool things. Like this format really slows down, so it's going to be really interesting to kind of see where it goes. Next week, we're going to have our kind of post-mortem for all the cards that are rotating. We're going to pay our respects to some cards and maybe pay less respects to other cards that we don't like. We'll have that all for you next week, and we got a couple good episodes in the pipeline here. Anything else, Ciaran, before we hop off?
Nope. I think that's good. I'll catch you guys next week.
Thank you guys for being here, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Later.